Hey everybody, welcome to the Local Joe Show, episode number 2. So happy Valentine's Day. Today's Valentine's Day. I'm filming Saturday mornings like I usually do. And today I'm going to be joined by Chad Apap. He is the CEO at Z Real Estate Team. Uh, he is the one that we go to for all our problems here. So Chad's going to come and talk to us a little bit about his background, how he ended up on the team, and also tell us why the team might be a good idea for you and why EXP is great for everybody. So can't wait for Chad to join us. But before we get to that, today we're going to start with our normal format that I talked about last time that I would be using every week. And today we're going to start with local news. So one of the things that happened this week that I saw, or it's going to be happening, is the Famous Burger open down in downtown Farmington. Many of you may know the old Tubbies or Bulldogs. They are reopening now as Famous Hamburger. So definitely check that out and see what kind of food you like or they got down there. Um, there's also, let's see, we got the Women's Business Committee is putting on a CPR and AED training. It's called The Heart of a Woman, and that is from 8:30 to 10 a.m. on 2/18. You do need to register for that event. It's at gfachamber.com/events. That's the Greater Farmington Area Chamber.com. So gfachamber.com/events. And then finally, when you're down checking out Famous Hamburgers, you might want to head over to Riley Skate Park. So today, Valentine's Day, they are having a, um, well, I guess I shouldn't tell you about this because I don't put out my podcast till Tuesday and the skate will be over. So, anyways, that was from 2 to 4. So hopefully you guys check that out. That's today. Um, Next, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my news. So, let's see, what did I do this week? So, one of the things I did was getting my use CapCut to create an Instagram reel. So, on our coaching call, I do a coaching call every morning. One of the things I talked about was some ideas for different Instagram posts and things like that. And one of the things they came up with was 3 reasons it's a good time to sell right now. So I used CapCut, a free video editing software, to create an Instagram reel. And it worked out pretty good. You can check it out on Local Joe Farmington Hills on my Instagram. Um, yeah, so I'm going to continue just working on that stuff and trying to increase my social media footprint a little bit. One of the other things we have coming up soon is the Z Boot Camp. So this is it's a 3-day event, February 25th through the 27th. It's at Dynagen Lending. Um, so they're going to have lots of great guests. I don't have the lineup in front of me, but I do know that Mark Z is going to be there. Chad's going to be doing some speaking. Kurt Shewell. Um, I believe Jeff Glover is going to be there as well. A few other guests. Nick Krem talking about AI. So there's lots of things to learn there. Lots of information. Come in, check that out. You can go to Z Real Estate to our website and download, or actually just contact me if you need any information. You can just DM me at Local Joe Farmington Hills on all the socials. Let's see what else we got here. One of the things that I saw this week that was interesting to me, and I'm really into AI. I like to learn about what's going on. So there is a new AI job board. So this job board is for humans looking to be able to do tasks for AI agents. So the way it works is the AI agents will be going out and they'll go onto this job board and they will hire humans to go out and do tasks that they need completed. So I thought that was kind of interesting that AI is going to be hiring humans now. So just something interesting I saw this week. What else we got? So Housing Wire Daily, I watch that every week. The jobs report was a little better than expected, and then I just saw this morning too that the inflation numbers were a little lower than expected. So although I know President Trump would love for rates to go lower, and he's actually getting Powell out of there. Powell's leaving now. So, a lot of people think that with Trump putting in his new person, that's going to just change the interest rates overnight. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the Fed president doesn't control, first of all, they don't control mortgage rates, the Fed in general. They're just controlling the bank rates. But they also have to vote on what they do with rates. So there are Fed governors, and the Fed chair is just one of the governors that vote on this. So changing him does not necessarily change the whole panel. Although it does change the numbers a little bit. Obviously, you're taking one person out that normally would be voting one way or the other, and could change the way they vote. But it's not so straight that this new guy is just going to come in and take over and drop rates like nothing. So, anyways, obviously with uh, jobs doing better and inflation going down, those are both indicators of the Fed not to do anything. That the economy is fine and it doesn't need any stimulation or any pullbacks. So, anyways, that's just my opinion of what's going on there. Mortgage rates did tick down a little bit this week. This week, though, so who knows? Um, I'm reading a new book this week. So I've just got this new 50 Cent book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. So it's very interesting. Everybody knows who 50 Cent is. He's a famous rapper, obviously, but a lot of people may not know his business savviness and, just how well he has this show on Stars Power. So he's done really well there. He's actually, you know, you could say he's done as well in TV as he did in rap. So yeah, I'm just listening to his book, and now he's working with Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power guy, and they wrote a book together. So he kind of continues to impress me. So I'm enjoying that book and his point of view on a lot of different things. I'm also at the same time reading another book called Influence, New and Expanded by Robert Cialdini. So this is a really good one. Talks a lot about persuasion and just how influence is caused and what causes people to make decisions about different things. Very interesting. Uh, very against what you would think sometimes, the way people think and what makes people make decisions on what they like and what they don't like, and social proof and all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting. So I definitely highly recommended book. Alex Hormozy, that's one of his favorite guys to study all of his books, and he's definitely a great person to learn from if you want to learn about marketing and about copy and things like that. So then I went back to the gym this week. I'm trying to hit my 3 day a week goal. I failed this week, just to be completely honest with you. I made it one day. So I did have a little bit, few issues. I got hit really hard in hockey on Monday and had a headache for a couple of days. So I was kind of just taking it easy this week. Speaking of hockey, we did win our second playoff game. So this game was a little bit more exciting than some of the others for me because I was playing against two guys that I play with on Monday nights. So they're in the Sunday league with me. They're actually the reason I got in the league was because they both encouraged me to. So it was great to beat them. Just to be honest with you, it's the playoffs, and they were 2-0, and we were 1-0, and so we won. So we're excited about that. Let's see what else we got here. So I'm switching up my reach out. So one of the things me and Chad are going to talk about is how to prospect and how important that is as a new agent to be prospecting and always reaching out and trying to get new clients. And I had been trying a texting version of this, trying to do 100 texts a week. So I'm trying to switch it up to be a little bit half and half at this point. I just got a new headset so I can start making phone calls. I was having a little bit of trouble using my phone in the office. Sometimes it's a little loud and it was a little hard to hear sometimes. So I just bought a new headset and I'm all geeked up to start calling FISBOs and expires the next week. And then the last thing I'm kind of switching up a little bit is going back to nurturing my sphere a little bit more. So one of the things that we had a coaching with us and Chevron at the end of last year, and it was really helping us build our sphere and working on every day reaching out to your sphere. And he had a really good concept for doing this, and I was sticking to it really good, and I built my database and doing real well. But for some reason, I kind of fell off of that at the end there, and haven't been keeping up with my sphere as much as I should be. So one of the things that I'm doing to try to help me do this is I use Follow Up Boss, and I'm real religious every day about making sure that I take care of all my tasks for the day. And so the hard part is you have to actually set the task prior to doing it, so you have to do them, right? So when I originally started putting these people into my database, I wasn't necessarily setting tasks up to follow up with them later. So I'm having to go, having to go back through now and set up tasks to make sure that I'm following up properly. So that's what I've been working on. this week. And yeah, so that's that. So next we're going to have Chad on, and he's going to talk a little bit about our brokerage and about himself, and you can get to know Chad a little bit better.
My pleasure.
You taking the time. So I thought we'd start today talking about kind of just you in general, so people can get to know you a little bit better, and then we'll kind of go into like the brokerage and the good reasons that people might want to join our team in EXP.
That sounds perfect.
So why don't we start with kind of where you grew up and what you should consider?
So grew up in Wall Lake.
Okay.
Graduated from Wall Lake Western. After high school, I went abroad. I had an Air Force ROTC scholarship I could take anywhere in the nation. So
Nice.
I went to a small school out in Arizona called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Yep,
And was an amazing, great experience for me out there. 2 years into the program, I discovered that I really didn't want to go in the Air Force, and I didn't love electrical engineering. So I ended up giving the scholarship back.
Okay.
And moved back home to really, I was going to get a business degree and sort of figure things out.
Yeah.
At the time, I was serving and bartending in restaurants and bars, and I was doing really, really well, and actually got promoted to a manager.
Okay.
So that really started my first career path, and worked for several different restaurants, moved my way up, and eventually became a managing partner of a restaurant.
Okay.
So previous to real estate, I did that for about 10 years. Took me all the way to Nashville for about 8 of them.
All right.
And
So you were all over the country?
I was living in downtown Nashville.
Nice.
We ended up selling all of our restaurants back to our corporate headquarters, and I had to stay on for 9 months. At that point, they gave me a 5-state territory.
Okay.
I oversaw 9 restaurants and over 500 employees.
Okay.
Which was just a great learning experience.
I bet, yeah.
Along the way, I had opened and remodeled 11 different restaurants. So it really got me a taste of the real estate side of things. I did site selection, lease negotiations,
Did you happen
build
to buy
outs.
properties down in Nashville about 10 years ago? That would have been perfect.
I bought one and I did well. I did well on it, yeah. But ultimately, it gave me a taste for real estate, and I knew that as I was getting older and just physically, I couldn't keep that pace to be working 6 days a week and 60 hours a week, that I wanted something different. So I
just say that, are you sure you don't work 60 hours a week now? Because you're here all the time.
It's a way different work now than it was then.
All the time,
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in January of 2020, I signed up for my real estate class online.
Okay.
And for like 2 months, I literally did 1 hour of class.
Oh, class.
And it was just not like a high priority. It was when I get to it. And something happened in March of 2020 that COVID hit.
Right.
And our restaurant,
gave you a little time.
Yeah, our restaurant wasn't set up for to-go really, so we shut down for a couple weeks because we figured the first quarantine we'd be done with COVID.
Yeah.
And during that time, I literally just did my real estate class.
Nice.
And finished that. After 2 weeks, obviously, we set our restaurant up. We got things back and running. And but I tried to apply to take my test, and I couldn't because all the testing centers were closed.
Yeah.
So that went on for 3 or 4 months. I wasn't able to get my license until the end of January, early August of 2020.
Meanwhile, you lost all that knowledge you studied, right? You had to go back and do it all
There's a
over.
great program called CompuCram, and if you haven't got licensed yet, I highly suggest it.
Okay.
It's such a great study tool.
Nice.
So I used that. I was able to pass it the first time, which was great.
Yep.
And then I started with the team right off the rip, because Mark had actually, when I was in Nashville, he sold my house here.
Okay.
And then when I came back, he helped me buy my current house here.
Okay.
So I just, he was good friends with my old partner from the restaurants, and it just sort of worked.
So did you actually leave the restaurant full time then right away, or did you just kind of do half and half at first?
So whatever you call a half and half, I was in a unique situation. I had a 6-figure income, and I had 6-figure bills behind it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an option where I could just
Quit.
quit cold turkey and come here full time as much as I wanted to. I needed to prove that I could make that money to do that. So I actually worked part time, and what part time looked like for me is I was at the restaurant from 7 in the morning till about 4 or 5 days a week.
Yep.
And did my 50 hours there, and then I would prospect 3 days a week for about 2 to 3 hours, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday morning, and then then I would show homes and pick up showing partners or my own clients. After that, so I was working 30 to 40 hours a week part-time, but I knew that that's what it would take to get me to where I had to get to and replace the income I was talking about. That's not, everyone doesn't have to do that, but a lot of people probably aren't replacing quite as much income.
Right.
And ironically, so that I started in September. In February, Mark called me, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm working." And he's just like you're a natural. You need to quit your job and come here full time. And I was just like, well, I want to save up 6 months of bills and all this, and he just gave me the vote of confidence. He said, look, I see you. I see your work ethic.
Yeah.
Make the move, and I won't let you fail.
Yeah. Mark's really good at giving you that confidence.
Yeah,
right?
he was.
Sometimes it's your own brain that's.
Oh, 100%. We're our own worst critics and doubters. So with that vote of confidence, the next day I called my partner and was like, "Listen, I'll give you how much time do you need? Like I know I'm not a two-week type replaceable type of person,
right,
but how much time do you need?" And he asked me to stay through the end of June. So it was like a 4-month notice to get everything, but I was fine with that, like I said, and they were really, really great to me along the way. And I started full time in July of 2021, and really haven't looked back since.
Start, right?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Since then, I've been fortunate enough. I got engaged this past year.
Yep.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. Have an amazing fiance. We just recently bought a 37-foot sleeper boat, and we parked that down in Gibraltar, and super excited for our we got half a season last year. So this year we're looking forward to a full season and to just enjoying that and enjoying some of the fruits of our labor.
Yeah, well, that's great. So let's see, you covered a lot of my stuff here with one prompt. That was great. So you started in real estate. So and why did you pick the Z team? You went all the way down the list. That was great.
I didn't even know. It's perfect.
So why don't you take us through a little bit of rise on the team and what happened, through your career?
So that first year full time in I say half part time, half full time in 2021. I was able to close 32 deals personal, and for about $7.7 million.
Okay.
And something unique to our team that most teams don't have. We have a showing partner program where you, as a young new agent, you get to partner with experienced agents and work deals. It does a couple things. One, it helps you generate income quickly while you're learning, which I think is amazing and helps out. The second thing is it helps you really just learn the process and what to know. And as you're working a deal, you can ask your partner a million questions.
That's what I was going to say, because for me doing that, it was great to have someone that financially is involved in the deal, and you don't feel bad asking them, right?
For sure.
Sometimes you feel bad asking people that don't have any incentive to help you.
100%. 100%. The one great thing about the team, Joe, though, is we have such a great team that it doesn't matter. Like even when I first started, I helped Renee. She was about 2 months after me, and she was shadowing me, and I was teaching her how to prospect, and she literally looks at me and says, like, "Are you getting paid for this?" And I was just like, "No." And she's like, "Well, why are you doing it?" And the simple answer was, because it's the right thing to do, and we should always help people.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, the only thing I ask in return is just pay it forward. So when somebody else you see that needs help, show them the same courtesy.
Always does, right?
And and really from that, our core agents have adopted that and really have that mentality of like, we just pay it forward. We're here to help, and we want to see everyone succeed.
Well, you as a team leader kind of make that happen too, right? You
for sure.
Bring that down from the top down. So
yep.
I appreciate that as someone that came in last year, just having all the support and being able to feel like no matter who's in here, I'm always able to ask somebody. And the one thing I like about when I ask you questions too is your answer is, how can I help? And you're always there to help, and I appreciate that. So, and you were the first one to step up to offer to help me do this podcast. So I appreciate that.
It's always, again, that's the atmosphere and the culture that we really want to focus on, because that's what new agents need. Exactly. They need to be nurtured, they need to be trained, they need to be taught. And I'll be honest, when I came to the team, it didn't have as much of that flavor. And that was one of the things I saw, and just from my history and being a natural leader was like, no, we should just have this and help people, and because there's more than enough business for everyone, and everyone can succeed.
So why don't you talk a little bit about the training and stuff that we provide here as part of the team and how that works? And because one of the things that was great was the onboarding process here. So you come on and you really get to learn how all the processes work, and you guys have great processes set up to make sure all the transactions get completed like they're supposed to, and nothing falls in the cracks and that type of thing.
So we have an amazing training program, and Megan is our sales director and is lights out as a trainer. She works with all of our new agents. She onboards them. Then we have a 4-week training program to show them all the basics of what they need. If it's some of it is team related and our systems and what we're doing.
Right.
Other parts of it are our industry stuff and how to use the MLS and just different tools that you'll need, how to negotiate, how to like scripts and role play and things like that. I'll announce it here. We just signed up with a new tool that we actually signed up for 2 this week, 2 new tech things that are going to be absolute game changers for us this year. One of them is that training platform. It's going to take our training program. So, like, to shed some light in the industry, usually, on average, 80% of people fall out and fail. And there's multiple reasons why that number is so big. One, not real estate isn't right for everyone, so that's some of it. But I would say that's probably 20 to 30% of it. The other 50% is they just weren't trained and shown things properly. We revamped our training this year. Megan and I, this past year, made it a priority that we weren't good with the 20% success rate. And we, with the training we have, went to a 60 to 70% success rate. So we were literally, if real estate was right for you, we were making it work for you. And we're really proud of that. What we're introducing is going to be next level. If that doesn't increase us another 15 to 20, I'd be shocked and amazed.
I've noticed a little bit of changes already. Just Megan's offering more advanced classes. Things on the negotiations, tactics.
No, she's doing that. But this training program, we're going to have everything on video. On top of that, it has an AI trainer in there that will literally let you practice filling out contracts and it won't let you move forward until you click the right box. So you can practice that. Same with the MLS. When you're trying to find a search and set up a search, it's really hands-on training, not just classroom. So it's really going to collapse timeframes. On top of that, real estate's such a vast industry, and there's so many little niche things that people can do and things to learn. It has an AI trainer in it that I literally, if it has something we haven't had a class for yet, so for instance, I could say, like, if Joe came to me and said, hey Chad, I wanna sell and focus on car washes in Michigan. Well, that's a really specific, unique thing. I can tell the AI to create a training module of what you need to know and do to be a proficient agent in selling car washes in the state of Michigan. In 5 minutes, it'll create a whole module that I can now give you and say, hey, we didn't have it, but now I do have it. We literally, on demand through AI, will be able to create training programs to help enhance our agents. So if we find holes that like some of our training is missing, like that, we can within 5 minutes create it and be able to put it in their hands and get them
and it's just going to keep
immediate
getting
knowledge.
better too, right?
100%.
AI is going so fast, and they probably can't even tell you all the features because they're going to have new ones next month anyway.
For sure. So it's going to do that. It's going to make the onboarding process way easier. It'll give every agent a portal to log into so they'll see what they need. So like when they take a class, it's going to like sign off on that, and Megan will sign off on it. So it'll show like if you're missing a class or you're missing things, it'll literally show you where you're at, what you need, and really help the agents develop a path
to go kind of
training.
at their own speed too, right?
Always.
So that's what'll be really nice. Doesn't having to come in all the time, just whenever the classes were. There's a little bit of a limiter on how much you could learn and how quickly, right?
100%.
So, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was the training.
Yep.
So then, what about after the training now? So what comes next if you're looking to be an agent?
So after our training, and once Megan teaches you the fundamentals and really how to get started and how to do deals, she sort of passes them off to me. So my background, again, I told you I started what I did that first year. I grew my business consistently. The second year I did 54 deals for 17 million. Third year I did 82 deals for over 20 million. And my fourth year in 2024, I set team records for both units sold and volume, 103 units for 25.5 million. And at that point, that's when Mark came to me and asked me if I would, sort of take over running the team. And his reason and his vision is, who better of a person to take somebody who's just getting into production and teach them how to go, to the top of the industry than somebody who's done it.
Right.
All too often, when you meet with realty companies and things like that, the person training you and the person showing you the path forward has maybe only ever done 5 to 7 million, and not that that's bad, but how's that person, if I'm already doing 10 million, how's that person supposed to take me to the next level? So we created that layer of people and accessibility between Mark and myself and Kurt and Megan, that we have people wherever you're at that know how and can take you and teach you how to get to the next level. So that's when I really took over running the team, and that's really my focus now. So once you finish training, I step in and I put a plan together of how do we take what you just learned and apply it so you can get results and accomplish what you want to accomplish.
And one of the things I noticed that you push a lot, which it just seems really basic, right? But it's just come in and be off and treat it like a job, right?
100%. When I first transitioned from the restaurant full-time to real estate full-time, the first week I came in every day. Then I thought, like, how great this is. I have all the freedom in the world. I can come and go as I please. Like, don't have to be anywhere. So the next 2 weeks I worked from home. And what I realized real quickly is that I was confusing freedom with flexibility. And I see so many agents do that. What freedom is when you're a guy like Mark and you are making a 7-figure income, whether you show up or not, that's freedom. Like he has so much residual income from the team, his investments, his revenue share. He has multiple lines of income. He has multiple businesses. That's freedom. Now he still shows up and works every day. He's here all the time because that's what keeps them successful and keeps them going. But that's true freedom. What flexibility is, it means I can come and go as I please, but I still have to do the work. And the one thing I found out at home is that I always found an excuse not to work. And not deliberately, not intentionally, but I would start working like, oh my God, I gotta throw laundry in. So I'd run downstairs and throw laundry in real quick. Then I would go upstairs. I'd start working again, I gotta do the dishes real quick. And I would do that. And I would constantly, find reasons or things. And because I was home, people would like, oh, you're home. Can you come here? Can you do this? Can you help me with this? And what I realized is that for 25 years of my life, I showed up at a job every day and worked 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, depending, and didn't blink an eye, and the laundry still got done, and the dishes still got done, and life still happened. So I was just like, I have to treat this like a job. So I started showing up every day between 8 and 8:30.
Yeah.
That was that flexibility. If I, one morning I hit snooze once and I showed up at 8:10, there was no one there to do that. But I always challenge my agents to ask themselves the question, would you hire you or would you fire you?
Right.
If you looked at your work ethic and you were a boss, would you be the type of employee that a boss would say, oh, like I want to give you a promotion or a raise, you're doing so much and you're doing so great? Or are you the type of employee that isn't really getting much done, isn't very productive, and is getting no results?
Right.
And if that was the case, would you be fired?
Because you are the boss, right?
100%. You're the boss of your own company.
Yeah.
So I looked at it like that, and I really hit the ground running, and that's what helped me consistently get where I was. Everyone always said I was lucky. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. People call you, and it's just like, well,
I'm at the office. That's why they call me.
The harder I worked, the luckier I got.
Right. Yeah.
The more calls, the more contacts I made.
Yeah.
More people came to me, but it was because I made the calls and the contacts in the first place.
Yeah.
It's the joke. It's not really luck. I worked to get that to come to me. You're seeing the one person who just called me and said, "You talked to my brother. You helped my brother. Can you help me?"
Yeah.
But it was all the work that went into securing that
right?
that warranted that.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. So, so that's great. That's one thing I've noticed, and I try to do a lot more lately, is just make sure I'm showing up here. And the other thing you get, too, when you come into the office that I find is just the atmosphere, right? So
for sure.
You've got people that are doing real estate all around you, and it just makes it feel like you're doing real estate. So.
No, it's amazing. And like crazy enough, Joe, like people don't believe me, but just being in the office, usually I would get 3 to 4 deals a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all the time, but like literally someone will come in and be like, I'd like to sell my house.
Yeah.
And like they would look around and I would be the only agent here at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they would come like, can you help this person? I would love to help that person.
Exactly.
And literally we'd go into a conference room and usually sign the listing paperwork right there on the spot. Never had to go to their house.
Yeah.
Just from being here and present, so many opportunities.
Yeah, because sometimes you just overhear things too. Like somebody has a house. Oh, I have a client that needs a house just like that, right?
Yeah,
and you can put the deal together.
100%. So. And even ourselves, Mark and myself, we get leads all the time.
Yeah.
That now we're both at a point that we try to help the team and give those up. Well, who are we giving them to? We're looking around, and the people who show up every day. That's who's getting the stuff.
Yep. And I actually got a lead from you one time like that, and I'm going to be closing them next week. So
Perfect.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's true. That's how it works, So I definitely appreciate that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit was Zillow. So that's one of the things that our team offers that not all teams do. So can you talk a little bit about Zillow Flex and how that works? And
so we're one of the Zillow Flex preferred partners. We are on the Zillow Flex program. Or when they first launched it back in 2020, it was revolutionary. Most teams in the state of Michigan didn't want to do it because they thought it was going to be less money. It ended up this past year, Zillow no longer sells leads in the state of Michigan. If you're not on a Zillow Flex team, you can't get their leads. And their leads, when we talk about leads, there's what we call top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel leads, when we say that, are leads who are probably going to buy in the next 12 months. They're not somebody who's going to buy in the next 2 to 3 months typically. Sometimes we get, some of those lead sources have some ready, willing, and able. But for the most part, they're going to be more longer term, nurture them. You got to follow up and really stay in front of those clients. The Zillow leads, a lot of people really like, because they're bottom of the funnel. They're already at the point where they're typically, a lot of them are pre-approved. They're ready to see a house. They're looking to move in 2 to 3 months. And the other great stat is, of all the Zillow leads we get, 50% of them buy a house in the next 18 months. So like knowing you have that type of leads coming in, that if I gave you 30 leads, 15 of them are buying in the next year and a half. And you could get 30 leads in a couple months, 2-3 months. So every 2-3 months, think of that. That's a lot of business, as long as you're focused and staying in front of them and securing those relationships. It's just a great lead source and a way to develop. And one of the things, like myself, when I came in, I didn't have a big sphere of influence that I had my own business built in.
Right.
So I had to take the company leads and build into my business today. So what I focused on is if I gave them phenomenal customer service, they would refer me to other people, and when they went to buy and sell again, they would use me again. And so I stayed committed to staying in front of all my clients and making sure I have monthly reach outs to all of my past clients, and deliver on that just customer service end.
Right.
And now I'm getting 50 to 80 referrals a year.
And how many calls do you make now going on?
I don't prospect at all.
Right.
It's all just business coming in. Like last year, I didn't make one outgoing call, and I did 53 transactions for $12 million.
Right.
And that was part-time because I had a full-time job running the team and making sure we were here for our agents.
One of the things you said the other day that kind of emphasizes that point is you're in this for the long haul, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going to buy in the next year, that's okay. You're going to still be here, and you're just going to help them along the way and be there when they're ready.
100%. The biggest mistake new agents make is like they want immediate success.
Yeah.
So they go meet with somebody and they push so hard. Sometimes it can turn. They can turn. It can be a real turnoff because it's very salesy. It's very pushy. Yeah. And I try to teach our agents that meet them where they are. If they're looking to buy in 6 months, that's amazing because I'm still going to be in business in 6 months.
Right. Yeah.
So instead of trying to push them to buy something today, I just build that relationship, nurture it, give them amazing customer service so that in 6 months when they're ready, I'm the only person they think of.
That's it. So as far as though, so we were talking about the different leads, so that's a great lead. So for me, that was great coming in here.
Yep.
All the deals that I've closed so far have been Zillow deals.
Yep.
So, and like you said, just starting to build up that sphere now. So me and Pral actually had one that turned into another one, and now is maybe turning into another one. So this is how it kind of goes with the referrals and creating good customer service. So I can appreciate that. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about joining the team or about EXP? What
I think we have the best brokerage out there. We probably don't have enough time to go into all of that. But to put it in just a quick little short snip, in 2009 EXP was created, and Glenn Stanford created it with two goals and initiatives. His first goal and initiative was going to be a company, a brokerage that was for agents by agents. So it was very agent-centric. It was, instead of franchise owners and people on the top trying to monetize and make money off of everyone else, it really gave agents the opportunity to build their own organization, to build their own business. So it was amazing and great that way. The second thing is it was cloud-based. So it was the first brokerage that said you don't necessarily need brick and mortar, you don't need all the expenses of four walls. And they came up with this model, and ironically today, there's another company that started right around the same time. It's a small company, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, it's called Amazon. and we're basically considered the Amazon of real estate.
Right.
In the short 16 years we've been in existence, we are now the number 2 largest brokerage in the world, which is unheard of. Keller Williams, who's number 1, it took them about 45, 50 years to get there. So to be able to get where we are in 15, 16 years is unbelievable. And with Keller Williams just recently, Gary Keller sold the company to a private equity. There's 2 to 3 years on their franchise owners agreements, and we are literally seeing the franchise owners, when their contracts are up, leaving left and right. I think it's a matter of another 2-3 years at most, we'll be the largest brokerage. So from a brokerage model and standpoint, there's none better. The last 3 years, we've been number 1 brokerage in units sold in the world. So we're delivering, and we have more successful agents than anyone else. So from a brokerage standpoint, I love that.
It kind of makes sense too, right? Because everything's going that way to the cloud and the different franchise models. They're
for sure
moving away from the franchise model.
100%. And when it comes to the team, I literally always look back at my first deal and I said, I don't know how anybody does this without a team. very few people can go in and just be successful and make it by themselves. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the same knowledge and experience that you would have, we could probably help you get there 10 to 20 times faster. Right. So if you could drive a Porsche, why would you drive a station wagon, right, or a minivan?
Yeah.
There's like drive fast.
Yeah.
Get to where you're going fast. Get the knowledge you want, and figure out where it goes. That we have it set up that really it's at a point now. If I was to leave the team, like as a successful agent, now people are looking at me like, why do you stay? Why do you stay? And the way our sphere splits are structured, as you do more, you get more.
Yeah.
And with that, I would actually take a pay cut if I left the team at this point.
Right.
So, it's just a no-brainer for me. There's no expenses. As a new agent, if you were just to start off, you'd have to pay for all of your business cards, all of your print materials. You'd have to buy leads.
Yeah.
Prospect those leads, and you don't even have the training and the knowledge to know how to do all that.
Right.
Like you name it, you have to pay for all of that.
Pictures,
everything.
All that stuff.
The great thing about joining the team is we take 100% of the expense out of it for you, and give you all the knowledge, know-how, and the leads to be successful and learn and figure out how to get business and build.
Yeah. And there's so much knowledge too. That's one of the reasons I came here, and just to be around successful people, right?
Yeah.
You like you said, you, Kurt, Mark, Megan, and all the top agents.
And they're accessible. Like people look all the time, like, oh well, yeah, Mark's name's on the building, but he's not around. He is so around, and literally tells all of our agents, we'll give his phone number out, and you can call him at any time. And to have that, like, to put it in perspective, if Mark was to sell his coaching and just say, hey, I'll mentor somebody, he'd charge about $3,000 to $4,000 an hour. I know Kurt's usually like $1,000 to $1,500 an hour for his coaching. So, like, to put that in perspective, you get these people anytime you want, no extra cost.
Yeah.
Like, that alone is just priceless.
Yeah, they're so willing to help too. I mean,
Yeah.
Kurt sits with me every Thursday. We sit together and talk for an hour, and he just gives me that time to come in and see what he's doing and observe him and see how he works. So I really appreciate that. And one of the things one of my friends said when he came in here, he saw Mark just standing in the middle of the office working, and he said, that's Mark? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I thought he'd be in some corner office, hiding or whatever. And he's like, it's so great that he's just out in the middle like that. So yeah, I really appreciate the accessibility, and even with you too, you're always available and even on the weekends and stuff, taking phone calls, and Megan as well. I've reached out to her, helping me put together purchase agreements and stuff like that. So yeah, the support is really great, especially for a newer agent. So, was there anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I think we covered a ton.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you taking the time to have me on and
thank you
and share my story and just a little bit about
my
myself.
first guest. I appreciate
it. Was
it.
awesome.
So it was great to hear your story. And if you guys want to find out about joining the team, you can reach out to me or Chad. We're both available.
If you do, just mention you saw us on the Joe Show, and we'll make sure we can get you taken care of.
That's it. All right. Thanks a lot, Chad. All right, welcome back, everybody. So that was great. Thank you, Chad, for doing that. I just wanted to go over a few more things here. I'm following my format. So agent attraction. So this is one thing that you could try this week to attract agents. So one of the things that that I suggest doing is meeting with other agents. So just talking with other agents, and maybe it's an agent that you're friends with. Maybe it's someone you run into at a networking event. Or maybe it's someone that you sat across the table from at closing day and did a deal with. So these are all perfect people to get to know and talk to them about your brokerage and talk to them about their brokerage and find out best practices and share information. So I love getting to know other agents. Obviously, I would love it if they all came over here. I think we have a great place here for anybody that's trying to do big things, being around big people, doing big things, and that's what we're all about here. And that's that. So anyways, go out. So that's my thing is have coffee or do lunch with another agent. So however you have to do it, wherever you get the agent from, maybe just call a random agent and say, hey, I've noticed you've been doing big things. Are you interested in maybe getting a coffee together? It is a little bit uncomfortable at first, and I have to admit, especially if you don't know the other person, it could be really uncomfortable. one of the things I was actually thinking of was, maybe you have an event that you can invite them to or something. We have the Z boot camp coming up, so that's something that I would feel comfortable reaching out to other agents and saying, "Hey, we got this great thing. We're gonna teach you a few things here that might improve your processes and the way you do business. So if you want to come check it out, and then maybe we can get a coffee before or after or whatever." So, anyways, yeah, that's my agent attraction. Have coffee or have lunch with another agent. Try to do one this week and see if you can make that happen. My final thoughts for the week, local Joe to go. I think the big thing that Chad kind of talked about, and we talked about it a little bit, is uh, treat your business like it's a job. It is a job. It is your job. You're the boss. So, like Chad said, would you hire yourself? Are you doing the type of work every week that makes you the type of employee that you would want to hire and that you wouldn't want to fire if you were the boss and you are the boss? But if you were looking at it from a boss's point of view, another employee, how would you feel about the effort you're making every day? How would you feel about how much you're coming into the office and taking care of business? Uh, and there's also a little bit of difference between busy work and work that's actually going to make some money for you. So making sure you keep those two things separate and that you're constantly prospecting and you're not color coding your database and doing your files and all this stuff, right? You're actually reaching out to clients. You're actually trying to get somebody in your pipeline. So that would be my final thoughts to go this week is just make sure you treat this like a job. It is your job, and that's the only way you're going to be successful. So anyways, have a great week, and I hope to see you all next week. Take care.